Hey guys, tonight we're heading back to the damp stone streets of Renaissance Florence, where laundry isn't just a chore. It's a citywide operation involving river water, beaten linens, and more soap than you ever thought medieval people used. You stand barefoot on the worn flagstones beside the Arno River, sleeves rolled, elbows deep in a soaking tub. Around you, others scrub away at shirts, hose, handkerchiefs, and lace collars. The sun isn't even up yet, but the water's already cold and your hands are already wrinkled. You probably won't survive this shift, honestly. The smell alone, half herbal, half wet goat, is enough to finish you. But duty calls. The entire city counts on people like you to keep its underwear presentable. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Are you tucked in already, or folding your own laundry while you drift off? Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You grip a bundle of stained linen and dunk it under with practiced flair. Florence, in all its artistic glory, still runs on clean sheets and crisp collars. You'd think washing clothes would be a simple job. Get them wet, scrub them down, let the sun do the rest. But in 15th century Florence, nothing is ever that straightforward. You're not just washing clothes. You're navigating a social maze so complex it makes Dante's Inferno feel like a hopscotch diagram. Florence's laundry system is organized, all right. So organized, it has guilds. Yes, actual official guilds. The Arte dei Linaiuoli, for instance, controlled linen production and laundry work for wealthy clients. And if you think joining meant just scrubbing in peace, think again. Politics clung to these organizations like mildew on a forgotten tunic. Some workers specialized only in high-end fabrics, others weren't even allowed to touch them. You naturally get the fun job of bleaching rough undergarments for a minor merchant who tips in fennel seeds. Historians still argue whether laundry workers had fixed ranks, or if it all depended on which neighborhood fountain you claimed. Either way, the rules are everywhere. When to wash, what to wash, who you're allowed to wash for, and the moment you forget one, that's when someone's aunt writes a letter to the priors, and suddenly you're the talk of the district for improper ringing. The public wash zones are already filling up as the sun rises, stone basins fed by aqueducts or fountains, bustling with women chattering louder than the splashing water. You wedge yourself into a free corner near a mossy trough and set down your bucket. The air smells of lavender, damp wool, and mildly scandalous gossip. Laundry, it turns out, is not a solitary affair. It's a full contact sport with an audience. Someone nearby is complaining about her landlord. Another whispers about a tailor's apprentice caught sneaking out of the baker's cellar. A third is slapping linens rhythmically on a board while singing something about saints and sausages. Historians still debate whether these communal spaces function more as workplaces or social hubs. But to you, it's both. You're scrubbing one moment and subtly eavesdropping the next. People trade news, make matches, pass down secret soap recipes, and occasionally glare daggers over basin space. You elbow a slippery tunic back into place and remind yourself that this is Florence. You're surrounded by architecture from Brunelleschi and gossip worthy of Boccaccio. There's dignity in every sud, even when someone splashes your face mid-rinse and claims it was an accident. You brace yourself, lift the dripping shirt from the tub, and begin the next sacred ritual of Florentine laundry, beating it like it owes you money, Your paddle, a smooth slab of wood nicknamed Giovanni, for reasons best left unclear, slaps rhythmically against the cloth. Slap, twist, slap again. It's part stress relief, part technique, and entirely necessary to get embedded dirt out of the weave. The noise echoes off stone walls, joining a percussion ensemble of other paddles, buckets, and muttered complaints. It sounds like a particularly aggressive orchestra warming up. Slap, slap, swish. Historians still debate how standardized these tools were. Some claim every washer had their own secret design, passed down from grandmother to granddaughter. Others argue guilds supplied official paddles to avoid disputes. You just know Giovanni's weight feels right in your hand. Laundry, you're realizing, isn't gentle. It's a full-body engagement. Your back aches, your arms burn, and your feet have gone delightfully numb. But when you rinse that final tunic and hold it up to the light, the crisp brightness feels like a personal triumph and a tiny miracle, one earned, not bought. Slap, slap, and done. For now. You carry the pile of freshly beaten linen to the drying zone, a sunlit terrace strung with ropes like a giant spider web of domestic ambition. Hanging laundry here is no small matter. It's choreography. First, the cloth must be wrung just enough. Not too dry or it'll stiffen, not too wet or it'll drip on your neighbor's prized socks. You lift a sheet above your head, balancing on your toes, and clip it between two wooden pins. The wind picks it up gently, fluttering like a flag declaring clean and still vaguely lemon-scented. Florence doesn't have sprawling backyards or tumble dryers, so rooftops, courtyards, and balconies become makeshift drying galleries. Some use elaborate pulley systems. Others rely on long poles and daring acrobatics. Historians still argue whether drying lines were communal property or assigned by floor. Judging by the scowling widow 2 terraces over, you'd guess communal, but only if she likes you. Drying's not just about evaporation. It's about vigilance. A sudden gust, a passing pigeon, or an afternoon drizzle can undo hours of work. You wipe your brow, watch your shirt flap in triumph, and tell yourself, just 9 more pieces to go. Maybe 10, if that mystery sock belongs to you. The clang of a bell echoes faintly as you pass through the side gate of a quiet monastery. You've got a special delivery. 3 crisp tunics and 2 altar cloths, meant for the laundry wing hidden deep within these holy walls. Monasteries in Florence aren't just about prayer and parchment. Some of them run laundry operations so polished they'd shame a noblewoman's maid. Inside, the air is scented with rosemary and warm steam. A monk in a saffron robe nods as he folds linen with unsettling precision. They have a system here, rotations, records, even recipes for specific stain types. One involves crushed eggshells and fasting. Historians still debate whether these monastic laundries were open to outsiders or purely for ecclesiastical garb. Today, though, you're just glad someone else is doing the starching. These monks? They treat laundry like liturgy. You step aside as a novice carries out baskets labelled in Latin. You squint. One of them definitely says, "Socks of Father Gregorio." You nod, impressed. At least divine laundry never gets lost. And maybe, just maybe, you're tempted to ask for tips. Not about salvation, just how they get linen that white with only medieval tools and what looks suspiciously like vinegar. Back out on the sun-drenched street, you're summoned, politely but firmly, by a footman in plum-coloured tights. Another noble household needs your skills. Their linens, silk-edged, their standards unreachable. You follow the servant into a courtyard tiled with red terracotta and blooming citrus trees, where a stack of embroidered undergarments awaits, each folded like a diplomatic treaty. The lady of the house appears, draped in damask, holding a lavender sachet and a list longer than a sermon. Delicate lace, no stretching, and if you wrinkle the cuffs again. She trails off, but you get the idea. Florence's elite are famously particular. Some pay extra for rosewater rinses. Others insist on imported lye. Historians still argue whether these flourishes were status symbols or just the byproduct of never having to beat their own tunics. You bow, accept the order, and begin sorting with the care of a scribe handling ancient scrolls. Wealthy patrons can make or break your week, but they also tip in florins, actual gold coins, which, let's be honest, go farther than fennel seeds. You pocket a lavender sachet discreetly, not for theft, just for inspiration. It'll make your next soap batch smell divine, and you'll pretend the tip was for that. You stand before a wooden table crowded with cloth tags, small stitched symbols, letters, and numbers meant to keep Florence's laundry from becoming a jumbled mess. Each stitch tells a story. A merchant's initials, a guild emblem, or sometimes a little doodle of a rooster, chosen by a forgetful client to make their tunics unmistakable. You carefully match each piece to its owner, mindful that one wrong tag means a lost shirt or worse, a public argument in the piazza. Laundry was big business, and losing someone's silk doublet could mean weeks of bad gossip and fewer coins in your purse. Historians still debate how standardized these marks really were. Some think a system existed across Florence. Others argue every neighborhood had its own code, and you had to learn them all. Your own method? A memory sharper than a tailor's needle, and a little luck. This sorting ritual is the quiet backbone of Florence's clean linen reputation. And today, you're the keeper of that order, the guardian of every thread. As you fold the last linen square, whispers drift through the laundry room. Tales of secret messages tucked inside hems and collars. Florence's gossip mill wasn't just fueled by whispered words, but by the linens themselves. Couriers passed love notes, political secrets, and even cryptic warnings stitched into the folds of clean shirts. You carefully inspect a folded tunic for such clandestine secrets, half expecting a tiny scroll to peek out. Some say these laundry spies help nobles stay one step ahead, while others insist they were just clever excuses to sneak scandalous poems. Historians still debate how widespread this practice was, an ingenious form of espionage or exaggerated folklore spun by bored washerwomen. Either way, the idea adds a layer of mystery to your sudsy routine. You chuckle quietly and imagine yourself as a medieval James Bond, laundry paddle as your weapon, ready to deliver secrets and starch in equal measure. You hear the distant roar of the Arno swelling as rain clouds gather, casting a grey veil over the city. Florence is famous for its floods, and you know from experience that laundry days during these times become frantic battles against water and mud. You rush to save your precious linens from the rising tide, clinging to soaked sheets and bundles as the river creeps closer to your drying lines. Your fingers numb in the cold water, you scramble up stone steps, soaking wet but determined. The whole neighborhood joins in, a chaotic ballet of dripping clothes and hurried voices. The floodwaters ruin some fabric, but more than that, they threaten the city's clean reputation. Historians still argue how Florence's laundries adapted after repeated floods. Did they relocate, innovate, or simply wash more? Your guess? A little of all three, with plenty of soggy curses thrown in for good measure. As the waters recede, you hang drenched laundry once more. Each sheet a small victory in a city that refuses to drown. Among the many debates in laundry law, one peculiar argument stands out. What exactly did laundry aprons look like? Some say they were simple leather smocks. Others insist they were embroidered cloth adorned with guild symbols. You tug your own faded apron tighter, pondering how it both protected your clothes and announced your status in the washing ranks. This apron isn't just practical. It's a badge of honor, worn differently depending on your role and seniority. Some say the fabric choice reflected rank, heavier for veterans, lighter for apprentices. Historians still argue whether these distinctions were rigid rules or just local customs passed down like family recipes. You catch your reflection in a puddle, the apron smudged with soap and dirt, but sturdy as ever. For all the grime and sweat, this simple garment ties you to centuries of washers who made Florence sparkle, one scrub at a time. You glance at the calendar nailed above your washing station, its faded Roman numerals marking days for specific laundry tasks. Florence's laundry wasn't a free-for-all. It followed a surprisingly precise rhythm. Certain garments demanded weekly attention, others only monthly or during special feast days. You plan your week around these cycles. White collars on Mondays, rough wool socks on Thursdays, delicate silks only on full moons, or so the story goes. The calendar ensures that linens stay fresh and that water and fuel aren't wasted. Historians still debate how widespread and official these schedules really were. Some suggest the system was enforced by guilds, while others believe it varied wildly between households. Either way, the ritual brought order to the otherwise chaotic spin of Florence's daily life. You fold a shirt carefully, pleased that your timing is spot on. Tomorrow, more rinse, more wring, and perhaps a stolen moment in the sun. Even ruined laundry finds new life in Florence's ingenious recycling culture. Torn sheets become cleaning rags for tanners and blacksmiths, while faded or stained cloths are rewoven into sacks or patchwork garments for the poor. You watch as a basket of rejected linens is carried away, destined for a second, third, or even fourth chapter beyond the wash. This frugal mindset means nothing is wasted, even when it seems beyond saving. Sometimes, you stain your hands turning a worn garment into a mop or packing material. Other times, these scraps become raw material for clever craftspeople who spin yarns, literally and figuratively, about resilience. Historians still argue about the scale of this reuse. Was it common practice, or just a handful of clever entrepreneurs? For you, it's simply part of the laundry cycle, an endless loop of rinse, repair, and repurpose. You smile, imagining the journey of a single linen strip from royal collar to humble rag, and back again in a way only Florence could orchestrate. You hang the final sheet, its clean fabric billowing softly in the evening breeze, carrying the faint scent of thyme and sun-warmed stone. The sky blushes with a golden hue, and the city's noise dulls to a gentle murmur. Your hands ache but feel triumphant. The day's work complete, a quiet victory woven into every fold. Around you, Florence breathes history and soapsuds alike, each piece of laundry a thread in its vibrant tapestry. You pause, savoring the simple satisfaction of order restored, a ritual as old as the city itself. As twilight deepens, you lean back, letting the gentle hum of the Arno and the distant bells lull you toward rest. Tomorrow promises more wash, more stories, and the endless dance of linen and life. Now, close your eyes, breathe in the calm, and let the softness of clean sheets carry you away. Sweet dreams.